Hey YouTube, this is RC66 Diecast Collector, and what I want to talk about today in this video is kind of a little of the history of the Camaro. I've got a bunch of Camaros in my collection, but I want to talk a little bit about kind of the history of the Camaro and what we know about it. The Camaro came out in 1966. It was a late rush order for Chevrolet. They were using the Chevy Nova 2 and the Corvair rear engine drive car as their competitor to the Mustang. At the time, the Mustang was doing very, very well. In 1966, though, they only sold 220,000 Camaros to the 480,000 Mustangs sold. You could buy a brand new 1966 Camaro for $2,466. It came to the party in September of 1966, so it was kind of late. It was a rush order to get out. It was kind of a bare bones car. It ran a straight six, had about 140 horsepower in it, and it was very, very simple. Near the end of 66, going into 67, they did start creating options, and they offered 4 small block V8 type engines, as well as 2 big block V8 engines. The bigger ones, the big V8s, were 396 cubic inch, 6.5 liter, 375 horsepower car. So it had a lot of power to it. The Camaro in 67 started making some changes. It was also a pace car that year. They had a pace car convertible. It was offered a 396 cubic inch V8, 325 horsepower car. And this car had a few options available. It had the Z28 package as well. And Roger Penske's team actually got involved with helping kind of bring the Camaro to the forefront in terms of its racing status and its ability to be competitive with the Mustang. So in 68, there were several packages actually added to the Camaro line. So you had the Camaro Rally SS. You also had 2 packages, the RS and the SS. The difference there is the SS had hidden headlights, and the SS offered dual exhaust, red pinstripes on the tires, a blacked out grille, and much better suspension. So the SS seemed to be a little bit more the upper end there. In 69, again, it was brought back as another pace car, and they introduced the Z11. They didn't make a lot of them. They made 3,675 of these, and they all included both the RS and the SS packages along with the Z11 package as well. So it was quite an addition that they made there. And this is kind of where they made a little bit of body style change, but it's still considered a Gen 1. So 66 to 1970, 71 is where we're still Gen 1. Gen 2s came out in the early 70s there. But I'm going to show you a 69 Camaro, so you can see the body style change there. This is the RS SS car. And there it is. And that's an RS SS Camaro. That's a 1969 Camaro. Anyway, they also had what's called a Copa Camaro, which is a central office production order Camaro. These are special order Camaros. They didn't make a lot of them, and they were very exclusive to their line. And then they had a line of cars with that Copa office, which went to Yanko, Pennsylvania, which later became known as the Yanko Camaro. In 69, they added some Blue Max packages on the Z29. And then in Gen 2, which was 1970, they kind of just kept everything very much the same. They offered the Z28 package, the RS packages, and things like that. 350 cubic inch engine, 360 horsepower. So these cars had a lot of power and a lot of speed to them. As we started getting into the mid 70s and so forth, we had a reduction in horsepower and as well as reduction in weight of the car because they were a little bit smaller because of the gas crisis going on at that time. So they introduced packages that tried to entice buyers to still want to come in and buy the Camaro. So they added the Rally Sport package, which had racing stripes and so forth like that. Then that was that Gen 2 line. Then around the early 80s in 1982, the Gen 3 line was built. And again, still very fuel efficient just because of the muscle car era was kind of coming to an end at that point. And that went until about 1993. And then in 1993, we went to about 2002, we had the Gen 4. And all the package was relatively the same. You had the Z28. You didn't see too much of the SS, the RS packages. The IROC was introduced in the early 90s. They got into the IROC Racing Series. And then right around 2002, production of the Camaro actually stopped. And so for about 8 years, it did stop. And then in 2009, they had the Gen 5 Camaro came out, and they had kind of that retro look to it, which is what kind of brought back the Camaro mystique, if you will. And then they, again, we offered RS packages and the Z28 package. I think there was a few Copa packages at there as well, but I don't remember seeing any. And then in 2016, they had another body style change, continued with that retro style, but it was Gen 5. They made some tweaks with bumpers and lighting and things like that. So, but anyway, that's a little history on the Camaro, and I hope you all enjoy it. And either like, subscribe, and comment if you would like to. This is RC67 signing out. Thank you very much.